What's up, everybody? Today is an especially festive day. It is a brisk 45 degrees outside, and I just had a cup of hot chocolate. And now I'm on my way into the attic to get our Christmas decorations. And I'm going to bring y'all along on that little trek. Okay, so it's a little dark up here, but hey, it's an attic. You know, that's what attics look like. I just have to grab a couple of those totes with our Christmas decorations, and then I have to grab that Christmas tree, which I'm a little worried about now that I'm up here, because that Christmas tree is like way bigger than the attic access. So yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work. Okay, so currently the tree is stuck. Not exactly sure how I'm gonna get this out currently. Really? I'm literally hanging on by a thread. Oh, you're a demon. Okay, so that was stupid. It was hung on like a piece of thread. Okay, so this week's vlog is not about you watching me fight with a Christmas tree or taking some boxes out of the attic. But as I was getting ready for this week, I knew I had to take the boxes down, and I just began to think about this week's vlog, and it got me to wondering, how many of you are like these lights? You know what it feels like to be used, you know what it feels like to have purpose, to possibly even be seen, and then all of a sudden your season ends, and then it feels like you've been put back into a tote, stored away into a dark place, and collecting dust. I know a lot of people in ministry who have transitioned out of one ministry into another one, and during that transition period it's frustrating because you don't feel like you have the purpose you had, it doesn't feel like you're doing much. I know for myself the past year has kind of felt like that, and it's been really frustrating at times, if I'm being quite honest. But then there are some people kind of like this new box of lights. You don't quite know what it feels like to be used yet, or maybe you don't quite know what your purpose is yet, but you know that there's more outside of this box, and you're just kind of waiting. But this is frustrating too. You're just kind of waiting in the process. In Matthew 5:14, Jesus tells us that we are the light. And you know, that kind of got me to thinking. So I went back to Genesis 1 and I wanted to see God's first interactions with light. Now check out what it says. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Verse 4, and God saw the light, that it was good. God divided the light from darkness, and God called the light day, and the darkness night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Three things stand out to me in this passage of scripture. First of all, God saw the light. Second, God divided the light. Third, God called the light. The word saw in the Hebrew literally translates over into the English to God inspected the light. Then the word divided translates over into the English that God separated the lights. And then finally, God called the light translates over to God appointed the lights. That helps us understand what God is doing with us during these times. You see, God went through the celestial universe and meticulously started inspecting the light. Once he saw that it was good, he separated it from the darkness or the attic. And then finally, God appointed that light to its divine purpose. Now, please, I don't want you to misunderstand me and think that I'm saying that you are not light until you've been placed into your purpose. That's not what I'm saying with this. In fact, if you go and read that, before Adam and Eve was created, God had inspected, God had separated, and he had appointed the light. The light was shining before man ever saw this light. So that light was shining, but instead of before men, it was shining before God. So I want to challenge you to understand that during this process, whether you feel like you're trapped in a box or whether you feel like you've been stored away for a season, you are being a light before God. So before your light ever shines before men, it must have first shone before God in private, in your box, in your transition. That is our commission during this frustrating time. So I want to encourage you that even though you don't feel like you have any purpose right now, maybe you were used at one time greatly, you were used in your local church, then all of a sudden life happens or transition takes place or something you weren't expecting hits you out of nowhere, or maybe you're brand new, you haven't figured it out yet, you don't know what your purpose is and you feel like you're just locked inside this little box. Be encouraged during this time, because God is inspecting us right now. He's meticulously going through our life to see if the light is shining in the places that they need to shine. He's looking at us, he's inspecting us to make sure we are found good or righteous, because he doesn't appoint something until he has first inspected it. Your purpose right now is showing God your attitude while you're in the attic or sitting on the shelf. The fruit of patience is most often grown in our lives during this time. We want to have the fruit of patience and long suffering, but we don't attain those fruit unless we wait or unless we suffer long. So those are the fruit that don't grow in the most pleasant of pastures. So be encouraged in this time that you are growing something that cannot grow anywhere else. It's only a matter of time before your season comes and he separates you from the attic or the shelf and he appoints you into your purpose. The attic, after all, is only for a season. You don't quite know what it feels like to be used yet. You haven't quite figured out your God-given purpose, but you know that there's more outside. My GoPro just started recording. Stop recording, GoPro. GoPro, oh, trash. Stop recording, GoPro. GoPro, stop recording. It ruined that whole scene. Going to turn off voice recognition.